Man, George Janko is my favorite YouTuber. He's so positive. He keep it real. He don't care what nobody think. He's open about his faith. He's just a real dude, man. He put out real content. I rock with George.
When did you start doing the podcast? One year ago. Not long ago.
Yeah,
when he left the
Impulsive podcast. Yeah, I remember seeing all the clips on my TikTok. I didn't even know who he was. I really found out who he was when he pretty much fell out with them. And I seen when Logan kind of bashed
Logan would
Christianity,
make fun of him and laugh at him.
I saw that and I was like, I'm not rocking with them no more. And then I saw he did his own. I said, I'm finna go tap in.
I've always liked Jake more than Logan.
I've watched a couple George podcasts and they have probably been the best podcasts that I have seen for sure.
Me too.
The one with him and Andrew Tate was probably my favorite.
My favorite was the one with the Bible debaters.
Yeah, I know exactly.
And they sit there and they just answer real questions that regular people would have.
Yeah, he's always viral. The guy that's viral on TikTok.
George is a real one, man.
I wonder what's this guy's name. Oh, here he is. Cliffy? Is that his name?
Cliff?
Damn, brother.
Cliff Knetchel.
Yeah. That podcast is amazing.
That is a great podcast.
But he brought one of our favorite people on, Candace Owens.
Candace Owens, man.
Shout out Candace.
We're trying to get Candace on our channel.
Yeah, we are. But that's going to happen, bro. We just got to figure out where we're going to go.
Yeah.
I said let's just go to Tennessee.
I said we go here, man.
But we got to wait for her to come here. But I want to go to Tennessee.
She said,
because I've never been. So I want to go to Tennessee. Maybe we could talk to her, See what we could do.
Never been to Tennessee?
No.
That's weird.
I've never been to
Probably
Tennessee.
drove through it, but never been.
I've passed through it, yeah.
George has a timestamp in this podcast where she was talking about the black community and how she went from blue pill to red pill, and it was pretty interesting. So we're gonna do that, guys. Let us know what y'all think.
How did you resurface? Like, was it like a educational? Like, how did you in your environment get out? Right? Because if your environment is all this type of situation, how do you guide somebody that's in your footsteps out of the ecosystem to educate themselves in the proper way?
Yeah, I started reading books, not the textbooks that were handed to me, not the assigned readings. It was just a moment that made me really curious. And it was, because I very much liked culture. I knew, obviously, that Donald Trump was very well loved in culture before he ever ran for president. It was sort of a symbol of success. If you listen to rap songs or music, even Beyonce and Jay-Z sipping poolside at Mar-a-Lago, he was the symbol of success in Black America. So it was very strange to me when he ran, and I wasn't going to vote for him, when he came on the escalator, and then suddenly the media was saying he was a racist and that he was going to put Black people back in chains. I mean, the rhetoric was insane. And so that just piqued my curiosity, where I was like, okay, if this was the truth, didn't you guys just give him a show for decades? This guy has been on TV. He's been in our face. Why are you just telling us now that these are his perspectives? Why did you ever platform him? So that was just too obvious of a switch up. And I had just being curious, watched him give a live speech in Dimondale, Michigan, where he was talking about Black America, and he was basically, the pitch was, look at your communities, look at the rates of whatever's going on in your communities. Why don't you just try something new? Take a chance on me, right? The Democrats obviously haven't done anything for you. Just take a chance on me. And I remember watching it and thinking, all right, cool enough pitch. Like, I wasn't gonna vote for him still, but I was like, that's a solid pitch. Just try something different.
It piques your curiosity.
Yeah, and then I watched the media report on that speech in real time. The way that they lied. He faked tears from Black Don Lemon type people on TV. He's looking at Black and people in the face and he's saying, you're poor, your communities are this. He's a racist. And that moment just changed everything for me. I realized this is full on propaganda.
So that was your turning point, was you investigating in Donald Trump's ideas?
Yeah, that was the wake up moment for me that, the media really is just actually evil, really.
It's bought.
It's bought. It's paid for. These people are actors. Suddenly, I was really able to recognize the performance of it all.
Wow.
The fake tears. Oh my God, the rhetoric. And I was, honestly, it was very hard to go through. I always say that I suffered a bit after, because it was like having your whole world turned upside down. To realize you were so wrong. You have to go through a death of an ego, right? Because what if you were I'm not talking to you because you're a racist.
So when y'all feel like
our switch?
Yeah,
I
what
wanted
video?
to ask that question too.
What video?
I know exactly mine. I know mine.
It started probably with the Vivek.
I was gonna say Vivek versus Don Lemon.
Yeah,
that changed my whole outlook on it.
I would say for me, it was definitely the Thomas Sowell.
Those two.
That's top three for sure.
Hey, pause.
All the things happening.
You got a booger.
Do I?
Yeah.
What up? It's gonna be on camera. This nigga got a planet.
It wasn't big.
No. For me, it was definitely the Thomas Sowell, and then I'd say just watching the Joe Biden presidency, like everybody was so hyped that things were going to be better, and everything's literally objectively worse.
Yeah, I would say those are my top 3 things for sure.
My second one would probably be either. See, you know, what's another one low key that we sleeping on? It was the Tom's music. Cause he was saying like the fake woke and all that.
Yeah,
that song, I was just like, that
would be probably top 5.
Yeah, I was like, that's true.
About your
And
feelings.
then that's why I started thinking. And then I remember that's also around the time where Trump was getting out of office and Joe Biden was first coming in. And I just remember so many just didn't, like at the last moment, I don't know, man. I don't know if he's the man for the job. I'm not saying I be knowing, I'm just,
I
just had a bad feeling.
I didn't even think about it.
Something? Another thing that really made me start rethinking my views and approach on things, just on social media, I would see like black people would criticize other races, white people, of course. And then if the shoe was on the other foot and a white person made like a good point, people would immediately get up in arms and be like, you can't say that, you're white, you're racist. And I'd read the point and I'm like, I low-key agree. Like,
I think we can go down a list of reasons.
Like shit like that. I'm like, okay, maybe I should stop aligning myself with these people because he's making a valid point, you know? So
and people get upset about it.
Little shit like that. I just started kind of waking up. And now that I'm like, now that you can really see the shit on TV and see that it really is propaganda.
Oh, the TV's
really
the worst.
is bullshit. Van Jones.
Jones.
Joy Reid.
I cannot.
You know what?
Joy Reid got it
Thomas
bad.
Sowell, this I would say for me, Thomas Sowell and Vivek got me thinking, but the media, that is what made me fully go red for sure.
You wanna know what's crazy? It's
one.
very disappointing to see that like my parents really watch that shit and they really like it. They really think they're like educated and stuff. And I'll be like, yeah, I'm watching like something like completely opposite. Like, I'm gonna go watch Tucker Carlson. My mom's like, oh, you watching Tucker? And I'm like, oh, come on.
Yeah, it's just two
But
different
that's cool though
mindsets.
that y'all can both, you know, like that shows that y'all still got a strong household because a lot of people, you know, people be arguing about that.
Oh no, we'll talk though. And I remember one time we were arguing. My sister was like really up in arms, you know, takes after my mom. But then my mom paused me. She was like, I agree with you. She's like, I agree with what you're saying. I was like, then why do you vote the other side? She was like, well, she couldn't like. She was like, really, I agree with you. I was like, I got you.
With common sense, it's hard not to agree.
No facts.
It's common sense against evil.
I just think a lot of times like it's easier for Democrats to pander to black people because there's a lot more like
there's a lot more
black people
true.
in politics that are on the Democratic side.
Yeah.
So like when it's other people pandering on that side and you see like black,
it's just easier to do what everybody around you is thinking.
No facts.
And like if we all think one thing, it's easier for me to agree with y'all and think that thing than for me to go the other way.
Yeah.
She's a prime example.
The performance of it all, the fake tears, oh my God, the rhetoric. And I was, honestly, it was very hard to go through. I always say that I suffered a bit after because it was like having your whole world turned upside down. Like to realize you were so wrong. Like you have to go through a death of an ego, right? Because what if you were like, I'm not talking to you because you're a racist and blah, 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 because you believe the media hype. But it kind of shattered my world as I knew it. And I decided to kind of quietly for a year just do some studying. And, you know, I really dove into Thomas Sowell, which he made the economic arguments. He never was left or right per se, but he definitely is a free market capitalist, and he made very sound economic arguments of how could I ever accept anything the Democrats are doing. And yeah, I just kind of went down a dark hole of reading so much Thomas Sowell, Shelby Steele, because I wanted to start with the Uncle Toms and the Coons, the people that I instantly thought were Uncle Toms and Coons because they were black and conservative. And you know, joke's on me. Now that's the stuff that I get called.
That's crazy to go from fighting against them to aligning with them.
Mm-hmm. Did you feel like you were kind of, you know, like dying to your old self in a sense?
Yeah.
Like for that year, you like left yourself behind?
Yeah, I went through like, I would say shock, and then I was educated, and then I was angry at how evil, to realize what the Democrats have done to Black America, how they have used the school system, how they have encouraged us to burn down our own neighborhoods via Marxist principles, and causing people to flee our neighborhoods after BLM, which I spoke out against the entire time. I was really angry because I realized it's just a modern slave plantation. You're doing all the same stuff. You're breaking down our families. You are making sure that we aren't educated. I mean, the percentage of Black boys and girls that can read in America right now is shocking, right? And
That's
you've
insane.
largely gotten away with it. And then that empowered me to say, I want to be a voice and speak out against it.
How do you feel about your culture and what they do with music?
I think it's a part of it. It's a part, and I've talked about this on my show. Who owns these record label companies? Who signs a Sexy Red? You can go out and you can get any artist in the world based on their talent. Why is it that when you come to Black America, you want to platform someone like Sexy Red, when it used to be you platform people like Lauryn Hill? This is intentional. This is intentional because, as Confucius said, Chinese philosopher said that, what is in your ears will eventually be what surrounds you, right? Music is very powerful.
Yeah. I heard a saying that music doesn't need an invitation to your soul.
That's a great way of saying
into
it. Yeah, and
you are who you hang out with, but if you're just listening to it all the time, and I always got confused. I could never have said it because I'm not Black, but if I had an Assyrian culture and all they did was make money off of belittling my people, I would not pay money for it. I'd be like, yo, what are you doing? You switch sides on us. Like, why would you make it out, quote, and then shit where you came from? Why don't you come grab us and like build us out? Do you ever get scared of speaking the way you speak?
No. I feel very comfortable speaking the way I speak because I'm Team God, right? So, yeah, if God has you, who can be against you? You know what I mean?
Amen.
And so, yeah, I am very confident in what I say, and I take, obviously, a beating from the artists who I believe, just like you said, have turned their back on Black America, because I don't fault these artists. Like, I grew up listening to Jay-Z. I would say Jay-Z and Kanye probably had the biggest influence on me, and there's a lot in Jay-Z's music that I'm so grateful for because he made it clear on how to move in a business room, I would say.
Yeah.
So many of his lyrics talking about, this is how I think about it when they want me to do their shows. Like, how are they benefiting off of me, my brand? He's thinking like a boss. But then he gets up on stage and him and his wife tell people to vote for Hillary Clinton. I know Jay-Z is smart enough to know that's wrong. I know he's smart enough to know that's wrong because I listened to the DNA of his music. So if you got out, why don't you tell other people how to get out? And that's when I lost respect for Jay-Z, and it is what made me gain more respect for Kanye, because he is willing to say stuff that makes him unfavorable in Hollywood, where I think Jay-Z really cares about what Hollywood thinks about him. Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely. Jay-Z, unbelievably talented, can't deny it. Beyonce, unbelievably talented, can't deny it. Kanye West, I would say a genius, can't deny it. Unfortunately, you stood on someone who is very up and down with what he says. Does that not, like, if I had a teammate that just kept going back and forth, it's kind of hard to like stand out. And like, let me give you an example. My mom and dad would come up to me and they'd be like, hey, if you're voting for Trump, don't talk about that. And I was like, damn, we got to a place where it's hard to even voice what you're
It's so interesting.
Voting for, or what you're siding with. And then I realized that my mom was trying to teach me a lesson. Be careful on who you stamp your name on, because now how they act or how they portray themselves or any of that is going to reflect you, because people are going to be like, well, you signed off on this man. So how do you sign off on a man who stands on a car and says, yo, Jesus is coming, you got to be about good things, all this stuff, but then I'm a sick fuck, I like a quick fuck the next day. You could see when Kanye has his eyes on Christ, and then you could see it when he's like, oh, I need to get these numbers up or stuff like that.
So I think the single most important thing that Kanye has told about himself publicly, which weighs into my mind when he makes music like that, is that he's addicted to pornography. He's talked about that. It's a huge societal ill. Like, it's not something that men normally talk about, like being addicted to pornography, being addicted to sex, talking about how he felt like he was introduced to pornography too early, right? And so in my view, I think that is an addiction in the battle that lives with him, and has come out in his music at certain times. I can't listen to that music. I do not listen to that music. I do not.
Doesn't that make it worse if you don't mind me asking?
No, but I'm very honest about the fact that I don't listen to pornographic lyrics.
No, not you. But like,
I can't listen to pornographic.
Come on, Candace, what are you doing?
And it's funny because it means that I've really raised my frequency because I can't hear it. It makes me cringe. I used to listen to it when I was young. It didn't impact me.
But now you woke up, and you're like, I can hear the programming.
And I've realized how important it is what you put into your ears. I quite literally cannot listen to that kind of music. It does something to my soul.
But so my question is, now that you know that, how old are you, if you don't mind me asking? You're young enough for me to ask that.
34.
34.
You can always ask me.
Dang,
I don't live by
okay.
that rule. If I'm 65, I'll be like, I'm 65.
So you're 34 years old, but you seem to be like, from my POV of just me and you, but seems like if you learn it, I got it, move on. So how could you work alongside somebody who just said, hey, I'm addicted to pornography. It ruined my marriage. It ruined.
That's brave.
But then he goes back to teaching kids to do that shit.
That's how addiction works. Right, so for
But
me,
it's different.
I'm not.
It's different
if I was
you're staying in the
promoting,
studio for hours.
No.
That's
Listen,
like days of work.
This is a conversation you got to have with Kanye. I don't listen to that music. I don't promote that music. And if I'm standing next to Kanye for something that he is saying and being honest about, I am co-signing what he is saying and doing.
Got
so
it.
when he put on the MAGA hat, it was a very significant moment for Black America.
Huge.
You do not have to vote Democrat.
He lost a
right?
lot of fans
He
doing that.
lost so many fans for saying that.
But he gained too, so that's good.
Right, and so that never been done. You never could have seen that. Rappers just know, even if they're saying it privately that they like Trump, they would have never, ever, ever said that and been honest about that until Kanye took all of the bullets for being like, you have another option, Black America. And I commend that bravery.
Got it.
Right? If I was sitting next to him or in that video,
good point.
then you could talk to me about that.
Yeah.
Candace, do you accept? No, I don't like that kind of music at all.
So you're
But that
good at
is
picking and
not,
choosing what-
Well, yeah, and not, I mean, do you know his music? The majority of his, like when we're talking about, you know, all the way from his early days all through now, like, yes, he has a lot of, especially on this recent album, there's one song that's really great, but I can't listen to it because the lyrics are too pornographic. For me, personally, Carnival is just way too pornographic. People can take that if they want to, but on me, in terms of what I talk about on my platform, I'm not going to promote, you know, pornography. I tell people that what you put in your ears is what you will put in your heart. But I also know that if I was me when I was 15, I wouldn't be listening to Candace at 34 because I was listening to that music, you know?
Got it.
So people are complicated.
wise.
They're absolutely complicated, but I can't be meant to answer for Kanye's addictions, Kanye's afflictions, Kanye's convictions, because I'm not Ye.
Got it.
You know?
Man.
Hold the phone. You're not Ye?
I'm not Ye. I'm sorry.
that's a
This
great way to
interview
end.
is not going to go as viral as anticipated because I am not Ye.
No, honestly, it's we're getting out what we need. Can I get my Celsius over there? I don't want to just get. Oh, perfect. Thank you.
Is that a smooth ad plug right there?
Can I get Celsius?
Oh, I'm so thirsty. Can somebody get me a Celsius?
Do you want one?
No, I'm good.
Okay.
I've actually never had one.
Really?
Yeah. Is that like all the biz? Like,
Yeah,
is that like
Would you taste it right? Oh, they're not cold. But would you taste it right?
We can
yeah,
get
I
her a
would,
cup
of
of
course.
ice.
It's
in
not alcohol, right? I don't
No,
drink.
No.
It's just caffeine.
Hey, could you grab a cup of ice? It's in the room right next door. We know this whole area by now.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, we live here now.
Kind of detouring from that. So circling back, you were liberal, got educated, read books, saw Trump, realized that the media is manipulating his words, woke up, died to yourself, had to recreate who you are to teach people to not walk in the same footsteps that you did. What is the hardest part of standing up for what you believe in, and how could somebody because I don't want to be sexist when I say this, but I feel like it's very hard for a black female to go out and speak passionately without so many critics speaking on her. How did you beat this? Who are you looking up to? What philosophy were you picking from?
I always say to people, I'm just my granddaddy's girl. You know, my granddad was just, and he was not political at all, super conservative, believed in discipline, was extremely faithful. We had to read the Bible every morning. He would make us a big Southern breakfast, and we had to read Bible verses. And
It's beautiful.
I'm very much like him. And my granddad was he passed away 3 years ago now. But he was just very stubborn, you know? Like, you were never going to come to granddad and tell him about his family and tell him about his life, you know? And I think that there was just a genetic component where, for me, once I know this is how I'm living, this is what I believe to be true, you're not going to bully me into some BS. You're not going to bully me into thinking that a man should be wearing a dress. It's so absurd and so ridiculous. Why would I care? Why would I care about little commentators calling me homophobic or calling me sexist or a self-hating black person or anti-Semitic? You can't tell me those things because they're simply not true. I'm not any of those things. I'm anti-stupid. And there's a lot of stupidity going on right now. Right?
That is so real.
And yeah, so
Rock with
it doesn't
man.
impact me. And then I became 10 times stronger when I got married and I had kids. I've never been more secure in who I am and who I am not than when I made the decision to start a family.
Has motherhood changed you in any way when it comes to the way you speak?
No, it's actually fortified me more. And I was looking.
Man, that was a great point.
Wow,
she
man.
said a lot, and I agree with every word on there.
The most impressive thing to me, every time I listen to Candace Owens, the way she articulates her thoughts just into words, and she like doesn't ever stutter. She doesn't. It's insane.
She stands on what she believes in.
She stands on what
time.
she believes in. Then when she explains like her reasoning behind what she believes, it's
It
like
makes
so
sense.
profound
Yeah,
and like
yeah.
how can you
hard to argue with?
How do people not like Candace Owens? You
People
really
are-
have to be like you.
They
You're either being told to not like her and just going off what you're told because there's no way
You're not
you can
thinking for
sit
yourself.
and listen to her articulate what she says and her points and what she has to say and say she's wrong.
I think she'll
and
be-
say she's saying things that are detrimental to black people and the black community. I think
She
I think she's
said,
gonna
I
be
think
bigger
she's
than
a
Tyler
treasure.
Soul one day.
She
I
said
think
it.
she's a treasure.
She said it earlier in the videos. People egos, bro. People egos are just too strong, bro.
And
They
it's
don't
just
want to leave it.
what everybody is saying. Like, think about it. If the first time you hear about Candace Owens is people talking trash, then you just gonna automatically watch her with a perspective of thinking like, oh, you know, and you're not gonna see it, think for yourself. And I like what she said that last point about how now that she's had a family or whatever and all that, and she's confident who she is and like all that. I feel like even though I ain't had no family and all that, but since I've gotten older, I've became a lot more confident in that too. Especially like this last year on this channel, because it's been like just weird, you know, because like going against the grain of what I'm supposed to think and say because I'm black is just. At first, it was a little unsettling, you know, sometimes. But
I was
now,
definitely nervous. I was definitely nervous.
Now I'm just like, nah,
That's
bro,
crazy.
I don't care,
that's
bro.
crazy.
Like, that's real
I
for
really
me,
wasn't
bro.
nervous from the jump.
Yeah, I just don't
I
care.
wasn't nervous. I wasn't
nervous.
nervous. It was just like, well, no, they're not gonna like
No,
this.
I'm not gonna lie, bro. I definitely
I
feel like
guess.
it's walking on eggshells, bro. Because like I don't know, we're going
But it's
against
the
what
truth,
we're-
though.
what- I know though.
That's why
Yeah,
I
that
don't-
is the truth.
That's why I don't care no more.
But I know that now. But
Yeah.
at first, like me coming on here and just being so outspoken about things that can be deemed an unpopular opinion, especially as a black man.
Yeah, no, that
Oh
bothers
man,
me.
I was
Yeah.
afraid. I was
Yeah.
afraid.
See that.
I've seen the way they tear people down when they do like little shit. So I was afraid that gonna be us. But the love and support and
Yeah, we get I would say
blessings that we receive.
99.9% of the comments always showing love.
Yeah.
But I just don't see
Yeah.
how one could talk bad about Candace Owens but not talk bad about Sexy Red.
You know,
See, that doesn't make sense,
A lot of
bro.
stuff that's protected by black people in the black community is actually detrimental. But then you have someone like Candace Owens who's articulate, she's outspoken, she's successful, she's classy, and she speaks real shit. Excuse my language. She speaks real stuff, and they still tear her down just because it's some of the stuff's hurtful. The truth is hurtful. The truth will set you free. The Bible say that.
I just want to see how many followers. Does Candace Owens even have an Instagram?
Yeah, she got like two. She got
It's
like,
with an
I
A.
want to say she got 4 mil.
I just feel like you really cannot hate this woman, bro.
Candis. There she is right there.
Real Candace Owens.
She-
5 million.
5 mil,
followers.
yeah.
Okay.
She up. She's her. She got like 4 mil on Twitter.
Man, and George, bro, he not afraid to ask them questions, and they get deep. And bro, I was literally listening to him in the car. I listen to him in the car all the time, bro, to kill my long drives, cause it's positive, and he made me think so much. Like I ain't gonna lie, bro, his podcast, bro, has done a lot for me spiritually, cause it makes me think, you know. And it's like, damn, what type of person do I really want to be, you know? Who am I gonna let? And it's the music too, bro, a lot. I every time I stop listening to rap music, I feel so much better, so much closer with God.
No, yeah, definitely.
That shit
It's
is literal
all so
trash.
negative, man. I just like it's all so negative. Like I remember
I don't know what I was watching. Oh, you go.
I would listen to it like at track meets and stuff. I just listen to it because the beat hard, you know, and then they just like rhyming on the beat. When you really listen to what they saying, it's so violent, like shooting, killing,
Beyond
selling
that.
drugs.
No, since
I'm like, no wonder these dudes' heads be so messed up because they think like this is how I get rich. This is what I'm
Yeah.
supposed to do. Like this is dumb to me.
And then all the time, I think I don't want to say like this, I don't know, but I just feel like every time these rappers, right, they saying all this and that, but that's the main people that black kids looking up to. Like if you watching a podcast, it's gonna be of a rapper.
Yeah, bro.
Vlad TV. Like,
Candace 5 million on Instagram. Cardi B almost 200 million.
she makes
so you see what I'm
music, though.
saying?
I know.
It's
I'm just saying
it's
though,
the
like that's
fact
what
that,
people are looking up to. When Cardi B's getting on live,
Yeah, bro.
100,000 people.
It's like
man.
people will
we
send
got-
you so many podcast clips that'll be of rappers and this and that, and I'm just like, I don't give a damn
I'm
about
not
what
gonna-
they
I'm-
talking about.
I'm not gonna lie, bro. I don't like watching podcasts of rappers because I don't think they're intelligent people. I've never looked at a rapper in my entire life and thought I want to be like him. He's a smart person. Never
don't
once.
know
And I
what-
don't mean that as an insult. I just don't think
Yeah.
they're smart. They don't articulate their words. They don't present themselves as intelligent. They just make good music, and that's why I like you. That's all I want from you. I don't want to hear what you think. I don't want to hear your opinion on nothing. Just don't think you are smart. Now, do I think that about every rapper? No. There's some smart ones. There's some smart ones. But majority of them, I don't think they're smart.
Was we at church when the pastor said that when you're sitting in a place, you got to think, is that a holy place that the Holy Spirit could be in? Or like when you're riding in the car and you're listening to a certain type of music, the Holy Spirit is not going to be in that area.
That's real.
Yeah, I thought we was together when we heard that.
We probably was. That stuck with you good.
No, yeah, I heard that.
Because I remember my mom used to be like, would you play that song if Jesus was right here? I'm like,
no, yeah. And so if you want the Holy Spirit guiding your way, you can't do things that's not, being in spaces that's not holy.
It'll take you
together, but yeah.
Every time, bro, it's so real, bro. Everything George says is real. Y'all go really
y'all tap
in
George,
with George,
man.
bro.
He's really amazing.
He is
guys.
very, very positive.
But
he's not scared to say what he thinks.
Y'all let us know what y'all think about this Candace episode, guys. We're out of here.